Hello and welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to recap the Event Horizon 1997 movie, so get some snacks and enjoy the video. The movie starts and we see that in the near future, humanity has successfully colonized the moon and several planets in the solar system, and is venturing deeper into space. In the year 2040, the starship Event Horizon was sent on a secret mission, but it disappeared without a trace beyond the planet Neptune at the outer rim of the solar system. Her loss was considered the worst space disaster on record, with her entire 18-person crew missing and presumed dead. In 2047, the ship suddenly reappears. Event Horizon's designer and widower, Dr. William Weir, who is living on a space station orbiting Earth and is tormented by the memory of his dead wife, receives a call that he has to report to the station's dock. The rescue ship Lewis and Clark, commanded by Captain Miller, is dispatched on a secret mission, with Dr. Weir coming along. Aboard the ship, Weir tries to introduce himself to the captain and crew, but there is very little time to socialize, as most team members were hastily pulled from shore leave for this mission. The crew is put into stasis due to the immense G-forces released during the flight to Neptune. While in stasis, Dr. Weir suddenly wakes up and is released from his tank. He walks around the ship, learning that he is the only one awake. While making his way to the bridge, he finds his late wife Claire sitting naked at the helm. When she turns around, her eyes are missing from their sockets. Screaming, he suddenly wakes up back in his stasis tank, as the Lewis and Clark is nearing its target. It turns out that the man was just having a nightmare, and he is then released from the tank. When the whole crew finally sits together, they ask the doctor why in the world they are being sent on this mission from out of nowhere. Dr. Weir informs them that their mission is to salvage the Event Horizon, which has reappeared in a decaying orbit around Neptune, more than 3 billion kilometers from the nearest outpost on Saturn's moon Titan. After several incredulous reactions from the crew who still believe that the ship was destroyed, Weir explains that the Event Horizon was actually built by the government to test a secret experimental faster-than-light gravity drive. The drive creates an artificial black hole that bridges two very distant points in space, allowing the ship to make the trip instantaneously. It significantly reduces journey time and creates the illusion of faster-than-light travel. The ship had been on its initial test flight but vanished without a trace, and a cover story of the reactor going critical and blowing up the ship was fed to the public. When asked where the ship had been those 7 years, Weir tells them that they are going to trace just that. The man then goes on to play a recording from the ship that went missing, and they hear nothing but people screaming, and the whole crew is horrified. One of them translates the man in the audio saying, "Save me." Upon approaching the drifting vessel, they try to contact the ship, but there is no response. After a short flyover, the Lewis and Clark docks with the Horizon. Sensors indicate that artificial gravity is offline as well as the climate system. No definitive traces of human life are found. These inconclusive sensor readings lead Captain Miller, Engineer Justin, and Medical Tech Peters to board the Horizon in spacesuits to search for survivors. The group then splits and tries to trace if there is someone out there. Peter goes on to find a dead body, and the person's eyes have been gouged out. She gets scared, surrounded by bloody walls, and Justin in the meantime reaches into the ship's core where he finds the gravity sphere still rotating. When he goes near the sphere, the lights suddenly turn on and the orb seems to open, revealing a black, liquid-like reflecting orb inside. It sucks Justin inside as he touches it and emits a large gravity shockwave that breaches the hull of the Clark. Rescue Tech Cooper manages to pull Justin out of the core by his tether, but he comes out completely catatonic and unresponsive. Amidst the chaos, their ship gets heavily damaged. The remaining crew members have no choice but to transfer to the Horizon, which only contains 20 hours of usable oxygen. Pilot Smith voices his concern that there is something very wrong with the Horizon and refuses to stay on board longer than necessary. He and Cooper start working on repairs from the outside. As they try to work, they start having hallucinations in the medical bay. Peter sees images of her son Denny, whom she had to leave with her ex-husband. His legs are covered in bloody lesions. She finds a video log of the crew happily preparing for the journey, which is abruptly followed by a log with scrambled messages. Justin suddenly starts to convulse and rambles that the dark is coming. Weir and Miller go to the gravity drive, and Weir enters a compartment to fix the dream, but he suddenly sees his wife again without her eyes, urging him to join her. In the meanwhile, Miller sees a burning man rising from the water pool below the gravity drive. All of them then go on to talk about what they have been seeing. Miller believes them to be real manifestations and not imagined. Smith lashes out at Weir, stating that by creating a ship that defies the laws of nature, he has unleashed something unnatural that killed the first crew. The rest subdue him, and Miller orders him to resume the repairs outside. One of them then confronts Miller with an outrageous theory. She thinks that the Event Horizon has become a living entity itself, like an immune system. It is showing an increasing response to the foreign human presence by causing hallucinations of growing intensity. Miller responds that his only concern now is surviving until they can all leave. After a while, DJ listens to the original recording again. He now believes he was mistaken the first time. The voice actually says, "Save yourself from hell." DJ thinks that the ship's drive successfully opened a gateway in space-time, but it actually led the ship outside the known universe and took something back from another dimension, which must be close to the human concept of hell. The video log of the previous has also been cleaned, and they get to see the previous crew madly engaging in a frenzy of sex, torture, mangling, self-mutilation, cannibalism, and sodomy the same day that they left. The ship's senior officer, Captain Kilpack, is seen uttering the Latin message while holding his own eyes in his hands. With the Lewis and Clark now repaired by Smith and Cooper, Miller decides to abandon the Horizon immediately and destroy it from afar with missiles, despite the strong objections of Weir, who says that the ship won't let anyone leave. Smith and Peters prepare to evacuate by collecting all the Event Horizon's remaining oxygen filters at the gravity core. Smith leaves as quickly as possible, but Peters is lured back in when she sees her son again. She follows him to the upper level and is led to her death by plummeting down a shaft as a result of being tricked by the fake image of her son. Weir sees his wife committing suicide, driven by grief and guilt. He goes on to tear out his own eyes. He is possessed by the evil presence and uses an explosive device to destroy Lewis and Clark, killing Smith and blasting Cooper off into space. Weir kills DJ by vivisecting him and corners Stark on the bridge. Miller confronts Weir, who overpowers him and initiates a 10-minute countdown, at the end of which the Event Horizon will return to the other dimension by activating the gravity drive. Cooper, having used his spacesuit's oxygen supply to propel himself back to the ship, appears at the bridge window. Weir shoots at him, shattering the window, and is blown into space by the ensuing decompression. Miller, Stark, and Cooper survive and manage to seal off the ship's bridge. With their own ship destroyed, Miller plans to split the Event Horizon in two and use its forward section as a lifeboat. He is attacked by manifestations of Korik, which turn out to be the resurrected Dr. Weir. Miller fights him off and detonates the explosive, lays down his own life. The gravity drive activates, pulling the ship's stern section into a black hole. Stark and Cooper enter stasis beside a comatose Justin and wait to be rescued. 72 days later, the wreckage of the Event Horizon is boarded by a rescue party, who discover the remaining crew in stasis. Stark sees Weir posing as one of the rescuers and screams in terror, but Stark wakes up and realizes that it was a nightmare. Cooper and the rescue team comfort the newly awakened and terrified Stark, and with that, the movie comes to an end. We hope you enjoyed the video. Do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos like this. Till then, see ya!